Yo, what they do?
What's up?
How y'all doing? Y'all already know what time it is. It's Friday, right? No, y'all, my bad.
Almost.
I guess I'm too ready for it to be Friday, right?
Man, it feel like a Friday.
It low key do feel like Friday, don't
Yeah, it feel like a Friday, but it's definitely Wednesday. Hump Day Wednesday. We halfway there.
Yeah, Big Boy Wednesday.
Yeah.
What's happening Wednesday?
Right. What's
happening? What's
Wednesday?
happening? Y'all, so of course y'all probably understand how they girl got these Queen Latifahs back here. You don't even want to see what's today. So I'm thugging today. So y'all already know what time it is. I got my girl, co-host Jaleesa in the building.
What's
so
up?
we here again and we ready for a new edition of what's this? What is this that you orchestrated?
This is called Pygmy to Rich Me. Okay?
Okay.
And I'm not talking about monetary. We're not talking about, like, it don't have to be, I mean, if you get rich, I mean, that's a bonus. I mean, that's true. But I'm like, rich as in you're valuing yourself as a woman, as a individual who owns your own, who just, you know, you're dependent on yourself. And you're loving yourself to the point that you don't need no one else to validate yourself, to validate you, to give you what you think you're missing. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, so it's like for beginners, or to start it off, first, you must love yourself. It sounds cliche these days to say you need to love yourself, but it's really a very slept on technique and logic, because it's like once you love yourself, everything else is going to fall into place when it comes to these men's
expectations, boundaries.
Everything will fall into right. You will know this. I mean, there would not be no need for you to sit down and figure out what are your boundaries, what are your needs, what are your expectations, because if you love yourself, that's going to be there.
It's going to speak for itself
automatically. So that's the basis. And it's like when you don't love yourself and you don't value yourself, you seek outside validation and you start to do things for people so that they can accept you. And to be more specific, women versus men. When a woman meet a man, you know, a lot of us, we want to do all that we can do to keep them, because we don't feel like we are complete without said man. We want to be desired. We want to be in a relationship all the time. It's like we run on our egos so much that we seek validation, we seek praise, we seek desire all the time. And our desires typically, you know, can derail your alignment with yourself.
So what would be your advice? Okay, so we already know the topic is from rich girl to from
pygmy to rich me.
Yeah, from pygmy girl to rich me.
You gotta know what a pygmy is first, though.
Correct. So that's what I'm getting at. So
okay.
How for the ladies, for the women that are trying to become whole, the women that are trying to do the work, the internal work, so that it can show on the outside of them. How do you go from a pygmy to a rich me? Because that's what they're trying to figure out, and that's what we need to know.
You have to come across the wrong Dusty. The wrong guy. You got to come across. You got to.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. You have to, because once you do that, then you out for blood. Now you out for vengeance. Now you out for revenge.
I feel like you, to a certain degree, I think you're right. I feel like you have to get one bad apple.
Because I was a pygmy. I was a pygmy since the first time I started dating men. I was a pygmy.
Okay, so what you consider a pygmy though?
A girl that does every single thing, that try to do everything in their best ability to keep and win a man over. Everything, every and anything. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like, I was that girl. I was the pygmy chick, the one that did the things that the other girl, the other side chick wouldn't tolerate. Right. You know,
I think the biggest thing is when it comes from, you know what I'm saying, going from pygmy. I won't even speak on terms of the pygmy terminology, but I will just say in general, like when it comes to just glowing up in general, I feel like first it starts with the mental. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a state of mind that's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not settling for less. I know I want more. I am destined for greatness. I know that I can have, you know what I'm saying? And it starts with the mentality, because of course, if you don't know or you don't feel like I am able or I am worthy of having this, guess what? Your actions is going to show in that, and your relationships is also going to show in that, because if you don't feel like you're worthy, guess what? You're going to be attract someone that knows you're unworthy, because let's just be clear. I thought about this today and I'm like, you know what? A lot of guys, they like to date women that are insecure. A lot of women like to date guys that are insecure. And a lot of times they do that for security. But you don't realize is when you're insecure, when your significant other is insecure, whether it's a male or a female, do you know how much easier it is for them to sway? And when I say sway, they think because they're insecure, their significant other is insecure, that's going to keep them in that relationship securely. No, if anything, the right person that comes and sweeps that person off of their feet, guess what? They going with the wind. So when you just have to be mindful when you thinking about, you know, dating individuals, and you want to do the manipulation, think about it in a manipulating aspect, because what's easy for you to manipulate is also easy for someone else to manipulate. So you want to make sure that you are dealing with someone that is, their mind is steadfast, their mind is concrete, and who they are is concrete. Because like I said, if they don't know who they are, if they're not even happy with themselves, who they connect to and who they are in general is gonna show, and it's gonna display in their actions and who they're connected.
Are you talking about the men with the women,
no,
or women with the men,
no,
or in general?
In general, that's a
because it's
both ways. That's the two-way street. Women and men do it.
Men have their way, have their techniques of getting what they want, and women have their way of getting what they want.
Yeah, but I was speaking on the basis of the security.
Insecurity.
Yeah,
like
security.
How people feed on insecurity.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, the mind is very powerful, because if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you possess, if you're not building up your mind, your mental, you're going to easily be swayed. Like I was saying, men get with women because they're insecure, and they can manipulate them. They can make them feel less. They can make them feel high. They can put them on an emotional roller coaster, because the woman does not have that mental stability to be able to sustain, to know who she is.
That's the pygmy
and
chick.
Vice versa.
And
it's not necessarily a pygmy, though.
Well,
yes, it is, because if you don't know,
when you are,
you're going to be willing to do whatever. But
I am a ordained vet.
But in general, though, you don't want to box it in with that. I feel like in general, because you have some people. I mean, it's
the only reason why a woman becomes a pygmy is because she is one of those. Those are one of the roots. It's because she is insecure. Yeah. She's seeking. Mind you, she's trying to seek validation.
Yeah.
She's trying to win the heart of a individual that don't want her, but is literally using her. That's how you stay in the pygmy position. Pygmies don't get wiped up.
They don't.
Men don't like women that they can control.
See, the thing about pygmy, men don't. But the thing is, nobody is doing the work. So that's why it's important for us as women, because of course today is a women empowerment subject.
Right.
So that's why it's important for you to get to know who you are and love who you are, and do all the mental work, the physical, all that groundwork, so that when you do come in contact with someone, you're gonna know who you know what I'm saying. You're gonna know your Boaz from the man that's just not for you. You're gonna know when it's yours. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna know, because it's gonna be a whole different feeling. You're gonna glow up. You're gonna boss up. You're gonna already be bossed up before you meet them. However, when you come in contact with anyone, and I'm not just talking about intimate relationships in general, I'm talking about relationships in general. When you glow up and boss up, you're gonna attract that. That's why it's important to make sure you are doing the necessary work. If you need to pray, if you need to fast, if you need to take some time to isolate yourself to get your mental together, if you need to do whatever work you need to do to make sure you are in a place that you feel worthy, then guess what? Once you become that worthy person, once you start working on your health, once you start feeling like you're everything, guess what? What you deal with, your boundaries and everything else, it's gonna go hand in hand. You're gonna be okay to say, okay, I'll be okay single. I wait till that, because it's so many placeholders, because they're unaware of what they possess. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they're capable of, and they don't even feel worthy. So that's why a lot of people are placeholders for 3 and 5 and 10 and 20 years, and then the person that they're with, their significant other, end up leaving them after all this time, because guess what? They decided that I know that I can have, and I know that I deserve better than this, and they decided to step outside of what they know to be its comfort.
That's true. That is true. I was that girl for a whole year with the wrong guy. And I thought I was in love. But what I was really in love with was the idea, my made up idea of what he could have been for me, or what he could have been as far as a man in a relationship. I was thinking these made up thoughts in my head that, oh, he's a good guy, or he's gonna come around. I just gotta hang on. I just gotta fight and do whatever he need. I just gotta show him how good of a woman that I am. And that's another thing, ladies. Being a good woman is not enough. It's not enough. You're not going to win a man's heart simply by being a good woman. You could get taken advantage of being a good woman. So to combat that, you have to put in the necessary work that you need to put in order to level up. Because men, they're visual creatures. They're visual individuals. They're very visual. So if they see a woman A or woman B, woman A, she got everything together. She worked out. Yeah. She put effort into her. She put on makeup. She looks feminine. She's looking. A masculine man is going to approach that woman. But if you got sweatpants on, you don't got nothing on, you look like you just woke up out of bed and you just was in a rush and you just walked out the door, and you just but in your heart, in your head, you think, oh, the right man, he's gonna come, he's gonna love me for me, and all of that. It doesn't work like that. It don't. And it took me
it's crazy
years.
I feel like a lot of us thought
I felt, because you want to know why? Yeah. The Disney movies and stuff, you thinking that the man's gonna see you in his love at first sight, he gonna take you and drive you on.
Or they just think just because they see you at your worst, they like, well, dang, he like me at my worst while I look a mess. But the reality is, no. If he feel like that is it's basically, it's like you see it's somebody talking to you while you look a mess. It's almost like they know where you stand when it comes to your company.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if they feel like, okay, she look a mess, and I try to get at her, that's what's gonna, because some women be like, I don't want to talk, but then you got some that be like, they'll give you that number, they'll do everything, because in their mind, they're like, okay, well, if he willing to talk to me while I look like this, then he must really fuck with me.
And that's not the case. That is not the case. If you look at, I met a guy this morning. I just got from working out. I got on, I don't have my bun on, I got my hair out, but I got on some tights and a loose, wrinkly ass shirt, no makeup, nothing. And I met him. He approached me. Got my number and everything, but I already know what it is. It's like you literally just approached me, asked for my number, you did a little small talk or whatever, but now I'm like, now my guard is up, because I'm like, I wasn't looking my best then. So what is your motive? It's kind of like when a guy doesn't look his best, or he know that he's a bum or something, and you looking like made up and did up, and he's gonna think you're trying to take advantage of him. It goes both ways.
And the thing with the men is, they already know these women be trying to take these broke men that don't have nothing. They be knowing that these women is willing to come in and pick them and take care of them and manipulate them and feel like they're it's all a game.
It's a game.
The biggest thing is, I would say, because we are trying to elevate, we trying to grow mentally and just trying to change our behavior so that who we coming in contact with, it's not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So what I will say is, a lot of us have expectations when it comes to meeting people, right? We want our guys to be like this. We want our free homegirls to be like this. We want our, what I'm saying, cousins to act like this. We want all these different types of things. Yet we carry ourselves in a certain type of way that we're not giving what it is that we want. The expectation that we have of others, we're not living up to that. So you got some women that say, I want a guy that's making 6 figures. I want somebody that's able to buy me a Birkin bag. I want somebody that has the financial stability. But guess what? Do you have that? And that's why it's so important to start working on yourself so that you can attract what you want. Because when the guys see that you take care of yourself, when the guys see that you make sure that your exterior is everything, and your exterior means nothing is nothing in his. You could be an empty, you could be literally a mannequin, for real. And that's what's really walking around. What's prevalent today are mannequins. People are getting their bodies done. People are getting their teeth fixed. People are getting their breasted, but ain't nobody fixing their hearts and their souls and their minds. So in reality, you're still not attractive.
Still broken.
You're fuckable, but you're not attractive. So the big thing is once you start doing that work, us women that say I want a masculine man, guess what? You're gonna attract a masculine man. Mm-hmm. But are you available? Are you ready to do the necessary work to keep a masculine man? Are you able or willing to do what it takes to keep a man? Because the same way us women who are getting ourselves together, it's a lot of these men out here that's getting their shit together, baby. And the same way we got expectations and boundaries, these men that are actually taking care of their households, and I ain't talking about just no bag, I ain't talking about that, I ain't talking about just flaunting you on social media, I ain't talking about just claiming you to make it, you know what I'm saying, so they can lock you down and they be out doing whatever they doing. I'm talking about the men that are actually willing to be a provider, a protector, the men that are going to be willing to let you turn down your femininity because they operate in their masculinity. We're not meeting no masculine men because we're not being able to operate in our femininity because we're not even doing the necessary work. If you want a masculine man, it's certain things we're going to have to do. We're going to have to start mastering our emotions. If we're not mastering our emotions, guess what? Somebody told me this, and I'm saying this because somebody told me this, Bree. You react out of emotion. And I'm like, you know what? The way it was conveyed to me, I'm like, damn, bro. Like, it makes so much sense. Like, because I want to turn down my masculine. I do not want to be Captain Save a hoe. You feel me? I don't want to have to be doing everything. Like, I want to be able to be a feminine woman. You feel me? But so many people have started glorifying this masculine state of mind of women, and it's not normal. And that's simply because we don't have enough men that are leading, and then we don't have women that is doing the necessary work internally to make sure that they are able to possess the feminine attributes.
And we can't do that because we busy at work all the time. We gotta pay for our rent, utilities, light. We got kids. We gotta pay for that, and we gotta pay for makeup, clothes, wardrobe. Do you know how much money that costs? Ain't no way in hell you supposed to get a man and allow him to go half when he's living up under you, and have him pay the bills. If he pay the bills, cool. You buy and use your money to invest in yourself. Build you a business. First of all, a man should not be a necessity to you. He should be an add-on to you, but not a necessity. You should not depend on a man. Period. But you want to tell them that you don't want to tell them, you don't want to give off that you're just this independent woman. I tell a man quick that I'm not independent. I need a man, to support me. Like if I'm with the man, he's going to be a provider. He's going to pay. He's going to invest, because I can't carry on bills and then invest in myself at the same time. I'm not. That's a whole different tax bracket.
And what you will do is run away. The guy that is going to be willing to pour into you, the guy that is willing to, help you chase your dreams, and that's going to help you believe your vision, and that's going to be a good parent to your child, your kids. We'll run them away with that masculine state of mind. Oh, I got it. Oh, you good. You don't want to communicate because your pride is in the way. Your ego is in the way. A man that got his shit together ain't got time to be trying to figure out your mind, bro. They gonna let you know. Listen, bro, you got to get your emotions in order. I need you to be this very same person. Your emotions should not sway your actions. Your emotions should not be the reason why you do certain things, because at that point you have bad management when it comes to your emotions. You get what I'm saying? So once you start learning all these different flaws about yourself, I like that some people in the chat, even you, Jaleesa, when you're able to say I was a Pygmy, when you're able to say that I got a fucked up attitude, when you're able to say that I know I'm over masculine, that is where the change starts. You have to first accept that these problems lie within. If you do not accept that I have a problem, because baby, one thing about the truth, it does not change. When you continuously hear the same thing over and over again, then you might want to take account of what is being said, because 9 times out of 10 is some truth to it.
Yep. That is true.
And then we look at the people that we attract to, because that's why I don't say there aren't any good men out here. I don't say that because there's plenty good men.
Plenty.
I'm a good woman.
Plenty
so
that want to spend money on
that
you
be for me to say it ain't no good men? It's some good men out there.
Plenty of.
But are you attractive to that good man? Can you sustain that good man? Because we got expectations, we have boundaries, we know what we want, they know what they want. It's hand in hand, and that's why the good guy, it's like sharks is at them, because it ain't too many out here, so they are in high demand. So you better get in line and get you a good man. I don't need nobody that No, baby, I am the prize, and I need a man that knows that I'm the prize, but I also know that he is the king as well. So as you start elevating and growing, your expectation, what you attracted to gonna change. You know what I'm saying? Who you attracted to gonna change. You gonna change that shallow state of mind, girl. You not worried about how short or how tall that man is. You not worried about how thick or how, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't, it's a lot of things you're gonna overlook once you start developing a different state of mind. So many people are still 30 and 40 years old talking about goals. I want a nigga with goals. I want a nigga with a bag. I want a nigga who driving and pushing a Challenger. Girl, you better get you somebody, you got kids.
Right.
You shouldn't even be worried about
grandkids.
Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Grandkids.
You got grandkids.
You shouldn't even be worried about all that right now. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it starts with the mental. Like, we have to start leveling up. Take your health into consideration. These men that are working on themselves, your health is important. They want a lifelong partner. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself, and don't put all your energy into a man or a woman. Don't put all your energy into your friends and your cousins and your, put energy and give energy to the people who are reciprocating that same energy. And the only way you're going to be able to have and replenish the energy that you have is by making sure that you secure and you be mindful of how much you give out. If the only thing you're doing is giving, but you're not receiving, then there's a problem. So that's why I say we have to not only be mindful about how we conduct ourselves in relationships, but we also got to be mindful about how we deal and interact with our family, how we deal and interact with our friends and homegirls. If you feel like you're doing more, you have to be mindful of that.
Yep, that is true. I always break it up in 4. It's your spirituality, your emotions, your money, spirituality, emotions, money, and your mentality, your mental. I break it up in 4. Focus on 1 every week or so, and just go from there. So you can balance yourself, so that you can heal in each area. Because you're gonna need your money, you need another mindset. You're gonna need spirituality, whatever you believe in. Ground yourself. You got to be grounded, because if you're not grounded, you're gonna fall. You're gonna be blown away by the wind. And your emotions. The emotions is a huge thing, because we are emotional
creatures.
We are water. Like, we are just emotional people. And if it's not balanced and it's not controlled properly, we're just going to
extend ourselves.
Right. We're going to overextend. We're going to scare away men. I stopped arguing with men. Like I said the last time, I don't argue with no one no more, really. It's not. It's just too much energy. I like to protect my energy nowadays. But with men especially, once I feel as though our conversation is becoming more of a debate, and then the debate becomes more into an argument, I kind of like soften myself. I kind of catch myself and start speaking softer and start being more receptive, and just let him win. Just let the man win. Just let him go. Just let him talk and let him do it. Whatever. But that's where being grounded in yourself comes in play at. When you're grounded in yourself, you don't care. You let that person win the argument. You let him win the argument.
Well, you're gonna have to come to a common ground, and that's where the certain partner that you're connected with. You know what I'm saying? That's where the masculine energy comes in, because when you're having a debate, or when you're having a conversation about differences and things of that nature, it's not that you just shut down and you just give this person, okay, you have it. No, you don't have it, because we have to come to a common ground. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I'm working on, you working on, we're all working on in general. But the biggest thing is the communication. When we're dealing with someone that is masculine, their masculine is going to open up our femininity. Because of how they carry on the conversation, they're not going to argue with you. A masculine is not going to argue with you. Somebody who is in touch with themselves and in tune with them are not going to argue with you. And that is what's going to dictate your femininity. If you have a guy that is raising his voice and acting out of emotions, guess what you're going to do in response to that? You're going to be outraged. You're going to be defiant. Y'all both going to clash, because this guy does not even know how to manage his emotions. So because he don't know how to manage his emotions, guess what you're going to do in response to that? You're going to mirror that same thing. So So that's why it's important to start working on you, the things that you know you have to do to operate in your feminine. And still, you can still be masculine. You can still be who you are, but you just want to make sure you are the best version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because it's things that give and take that can't nobody take from you. That's what separates you from anybody else. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, it's growing from the things that you know brought you negative results. If you know that I'm always attracting people that are draining my energy. If you know that I'm always attracting men that don't have their shit together. If I know I'm only attracting men that cheats. If I know, then what is it about you? That means you have to change something about you. You're not going to continuously meet these guys. It's some boys that ain't gonna even jump in my inbox because they know what time it is. Boy, you already know ain't nothing, you feel me? And that's just how I'm coming. But when you stand on what you stand on, people gonna take you for what you stand on. And if you ain't got no principles, if you don't stand on no morals, if you don't have no boundaries, guess what? You're gonna get walked all and stepped all on. Like they're gonna step on you in general, you know what I'm saying? So once you become grounded, spirituality, prayer, you know what I'm saying? It's not just about, you know what I'm saying, looks and exterior. Bro, become one with self. Like the prayer, like make God, whoever your most high is, make that a part of your daily routine. Wherever areas you need strength at, ask him to be your strength. Wherever you're vulnerable at, ask him to take that vulnerability away. Or even if you are vulnerable, ask him to help you through your vulnerability. Because a lot of us are masculine because we are scared to be vulnerable. The reason why we're scared to be vulnerable is because so many people have been hurt due to trauma. Traumatic experiences is why us as women are not vulnerable. But guess what? In order for you to meet the guy that is for you and come in contact with the people who are for you, you have to be vulnerable. If you're holding up a hard exterior, you're carrying a wall, blocking people out, guess what? You're blocking your blessings on top of that. A lot of us got pride. A lot of us is trying to prevent ourselves from being hurt, and we're avoiding relationships with friends. We're avoiding relationships with relatives. We're avoiding intimate relationships because we have this wall up. But guess what? Vulnerability is necessary.
It is.
When you're dating, vulnerability is necessary because guess what? You have to make yourself vulnerable so that that other person knows how you feel about them. And vice versa. Like if we're not vulnerable, if we're holding up something, guess what? We're both holding ourselves back from each other. So I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you're feeling. I can't read your mind. You can't read my mind. It's a work in progress in all relationships. It's hard. Like even with, you know, your family and all that, you want to be a little bit more vulnerable, but you also have to keep those boundaries. Being vulnerable,
it's balance.
Being vulnerable doesn't mean that you don't have boundaries. You feel me? Being vulnerable just means that you're willing to let that guard down for the person that has proven themselves to be worthy of it.
Yep, you're right. What I would advise women to do, give yourself a year. Right now, I'm on my year journey. I am single. I'm not looking for nobody. If a man approaches me and we exchange numbers, cool. If he want to take me out on a date, cool. But it's no relationship. I'm dating around, but that's not my focus though. My focus is myself. And I'm learning how to be a woman of value.
Yep.
Because I haven't been putting value into myself.
Yes. And
it's not on purpose.
Yeah.
It was by default because I didn't have the people around me to teach me nothing. I wasn't taught no game. I was practically raised by my grandma. My mom was old enough to be my grandma. I was raised by older parents. So they had me in the church a lot. And the church that I went to, they didn't believe in makeup and being feminine. They want you to be, refrain from that. They think it's worldly to put energy in yourself. And I literally had to go through life through trial and error. I have a story. I could write a book, but it's like, give yourself a year to learn yourself, to learn the game too, so that you could be prepared whenever a guy approaches you. Because it's game on when a guy approaches you. If you talk too much, that's not good. If you make the first move, that's not good. I mean, I know a lot of people know that.
If who makes the first move though? The
woman.
Okay. Yeah. If the woman, clear.
Okay. Because with my last situationship, I'm not even gonna call it a relationship. With my last situationship, the one that truly hurt me, that really put me on my ass, and really made me wake up to a lot of, I was forced to wake up because I was in love with him. And I had to break myself from that. So I had to pick myself from that. But I've learned that I made so many mistakes. I was the one that made the first move. We had sex too early. Look, everything that I could have done the right way, I did it the wrong way. And I got the worst results. And it's bittersweet because I had to go through that to get to where I am right now.
To know what not to do.
Right. Because it's not, I put love in the back burner. I don't even focus on love. Love will derail you. You know, when it's, I mean, if you find a man that treats you right, cool, that's good, that's a bonus. But you got to look at the bigger picture when it comes to men. You have to.
And then it's also, Crystal, like you said, growing up, we haven't seen healthy relationships. Only thing we see, you know how the old
Single
people,
moms.
they be together for 50 years, never married. They be together they get married, they stay married. Guess what? Only thing the husband done had about 3, 4, 5, 6 kids on the mama. You know what I'm saying? It's just broken relationships. Even though, and like I said, just because it's a 2-parent household, that does not make it healthy. You feel me? So sometimes a lot of people say, okay, but just because I grew up in a single parent household, that put me at a deficit, or put me in a worse situation than someone that grew up in a 2-parent household. And I differ. Like, I beg to differ. That's not correct, right?
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is unlearning behavior, unlearning this trauma, and before the work can start taking place, and before we can be vulnerable, before we can be open to real love and receptive to it, because of course you have to be, once you deal with that trauma, then you'll be open to say, okay, I received the love. Because a lot of people aren't receiving love because they're still hurt and they're scared of it, they're resistant to it. So I agree, like, when it comes to, like, you know, what you see, what you know have in generational curses, and so in all, that's really all it is. Generational curses, brokenness. You see marriages, you feel like you grow up, you want to get married because your parents were married. Guess what? Now you're in the same kind of unhealthy marriage. So the biggest thing is knowing what your idea of happiness is, and don't allow others to dictate what happiness looks like to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't allow what someone else's happiness look like to you. Don't allow what someone else's growth looks like to you, because what is growth in your life may not be growth in someone else's life. So the biggest thing is focusing in and channeling your energy and your thoughts, your spiritual walk, your health, your mental health, and everything. You have to channel it for yourself. And don't base it off of how nobody else moving. Don't base it off of validation from the outside world. Because let me tell you something about the world. The world will validate you when you ain't doing shit. The world will validate you when you ain't got nothing going on, but you post up a picture and you make it look like you got some going on. They know you ain't got nothing going on, but guess what? They're going to hype you up and bullshit because they know that you're not going to go nowhere. The moment you start elevating and beating the odds and start doing the things that you're supposed to do for yourself, and I'm not talking about on the outside, I'm talking about internally, because what's internal, it overflows on the outside. Let's be clear about that. So a lot of things that people feel self-conscious about or envious about when it comes to other people, you're not envious about what these people have. You're envious about what they have inside of them. It's not what's on me, it's what's in me. So a lot of times y'all get what y'all have confused with why people are jealous or envious, or why they don't like you, or why they feel some type of way about you. It has nothing to do with what you got, babe. It's about what you have internally. Once you start doing that work on the inside, that light is going to shine on the outside. So start doing that internal work, and you're going to see why you're not getting the recognition, or you're not getting the love, or you're not receiving the energy that you feel like you're worthy of. And it's because you're not doing the work on the inside. Once you start doing that inside work, baby, you ain't got to worry about nothing on this facade, in the illusional world. In the real world, baby, them the connections that matter. How people treat you in real life is what matters. How people respect you and look up to you in real life is what matters. See, the only people that are chasing the illusion of happiness, the illusion of validation, the illusion of fans or friends or family and anything of that nature are the ones who are not doing the work internally. Because I guarantee once you start chasing the Most High, everything else is going to fall in line. Your happiness, your abundance, your health, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about other people, protecting your energy, all of that stuff is going to fall in line, boo. Don't worry about the matters of the world. Just make sure you are in alignment with the Most High, and everything else is going to fall in line. So if I would encourage anybody today, Any women today that is trying to find themselves, anybody that feel like they're going in circles, anybody feel like they doing all the work but they feel like they're not going nowhere, for one, prayer number 1. 2, put yourself first. 3, your family, your health, your immediate family, the family that you created. Put that, all of that is priority. Anything outside of your family, your health, your spiritual connection, your emotional health, and your mental health, that's obsolete. You got to make sure you got you right first before you can be any good for anybody else.
Yeah, I totally agree. And make sure that whatever relationship you go into, make sure if you come out of it, you coming out on top. You didn't waste your time in that relationship, or you didn't give too much into that relationship. You use your brain, you use your your intellect to figure out what you can get the most out of that relationship. Because I know it's a lot of women on this platform that went through a relationship, and then they felt like when it was all said and done that they gave too much and the guy didn't give back. It's like the guy, he just living his life, he happy because he got what he wanted, but now it's like, you feel empty on the inside because now he's taking that from you. I kind of want to dive into that too. Like, that need to be a whole different segment.
We could definitely do that.
That could be a whole different segment, because there's a lot of hurt women out here who, still go through these cycles, because once they get out that hurt relationship, they fall into another hurt relationship because they're so hurt that they're trying to get rid of that past relationship. Now they're going back to another relationship, trying to forget that man that hurt them. But that new guy do the same thing. Because so it's like an ongoing, right? You're not doing the work on the inside. You need that break. And work on yourself.
Yep. And so, we're gonna close out tonight. I guess how I'm gonna kill it all, because clearly what we talked about is a lot of generational curses, a lot of brokenness, a lot of, just trauma, all these different types of things is what's lying within all of us, right? It's taking precedent in a lot of our lives, right? So the biggest thing is focusing in on that, but not only focusing in on that, we all have it. Accepting the fact that these are problems that we all have. We're operating and maneuvering through it. But what I will say is turn that pain into power. You're not going through that pain in vain. You went through it to overcome and not go back to it. You're not going through it. Nothing that you're going through is in vain. The only time it's in vain is if you didn't learn the lesson from it. Right. And you're going to continuously go through all of those, the brokenness, everything, until you learn the lesson. Once you learn the lesson, and it's going to show in your actions, that's when everything else is going to fall in line. So whatever it is that you want, you can have it. That abundance that you want, you can have it. That relationship that you feel like that you want, you can have it. But you first have to become worthy of it, and the worthiness starts within you. Yep. So y'all be easy. Y'all have a good night. I thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me again.
Of course. So y'all be easy. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all sometime this week, Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
All right, y'all be
cool.
easy.